my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be my spoiler-free review for Fake Dates and Mooncakes by Sher Lee. The content warnings for this book will be linked down below in the description, and let's go ahead and get into it. Fake Dates and Mooncakes follows our main character Dylan, who wants to win the Mid-Autumn Festival's mooncake making competition in his mother's memory, so that his aunt's struggling Chinese takeout business can get the publicity that it needs. Dylan then meets a rich and handsome stranger named Theo, who convinces him to be his fake date to his family's wedding in the Hamptons. Their worlds could not be more different from one another, and Dylan finds himself falling for his fake date and also caught up in a lot of rich people drama. And he has to navigate the approaching competition while also trying to follow his heart and not get sidetracked. Go ahead and start with the characters. While I do think that the characters that were supposed to be lovable in this book were in fact lovable, I do think that they could have been stronger at times. I'm specifically referring to the side characters here, or really just anyone who isn't Dylan or Theo. When these characters came to life, they really came to life, but there were a few times here and there where they just felt a little bit flat, a little bit one note, and kind of like they only had one or two things to their personality, and those two things were like solely what their personalities and what their characters were when they were on the page. Like, I think Megan is a good example of this. And I do wish that these characters were developed a little bit more. I don't think that it was always necessary for the story, but it did feel basic at times and even kind of annoying because when it showed, it really showed. Anyway, moving on to Dylan and Theo, I really enjoyed getting to know both of them and following their journeys throughout this entire story. This book does have a focus on grief, and just seeing where these two end up felt really uplifting and really lovely. This is definitely one of those books where you want the characters to be happy and to have good things, so when good things happen to them, it makes you smile. And while I enjoyed Dylan and Theo separately, they're included in this next comment, but they're also kind of not at the same time. I do think that what drew me into this book the most weren't the characters by themselves, although kind of for Dylan and Theo, but also just the characters together. And just the relationships between them. Like, Dylan's family, they're super cute, super sweet, super supportive of one another. And seeing that support was just one of my favorite parts of this book. It was so heartwarming, and they had some really amazing scenes together. And that goes for Dylan, but also kind of for Theo too. Theo's family situation has a ton of drama and infighting, which was interesting. But I also really loved reading Theo interact with Dylan's family because of that love and support. And speaking of heartwarming, honestly, that sounds like a pretty good word to describe the romance here. I really enjoyed the relationship that these two have with one another, romantic or not. But it's a rom-com, it is romantic, and this is a short book, and looking back on it now that I'm done it, I am kind of surprised that I don't have any complaints about the pacing when it comes to the romance, but I don't. These two have a ton of really sweet and also fun moments together, and I just liked them. And same can be said for the story as a whole. I liked it. It was very much a romantic comedy. It was cheesy and adorable and fun. It also did feel kind of tropey, and it felt like the characters kind of had their role, but they played their roles well. I don't think that the concept or the structure of the story was necessarily unique in a lot of ways, but it was still enjoyable nonetheless. This story is also infused with a lot of love for baking and cooking and Chinese culture. You can tell how much heart went into this story, which was all really enjoyable. And the story also contains a cute dog, so bonus points for that. This story pretty much had two major focuses. One was on Theo's family drama, which again, it was interesting, but also very frustrating at times. Like, these are not the greatest people, that's for sure. And I do feel like this story tried to redeem a couple of them a little bit too quickly, which did make me a little bit confused towards the end because I was just kind of like, that's it. But some of my absolute favorite parts of this story did take place in the Hamptons, and I was so invested in everything that was going on, and that could be said for the whole story as well. The other part of the story was the competition. I loved this. It felt cheesy at times, but there was so much heart in it. I can't be mad at that, and I won't be. This is a very feel-good story. Like, I read it, and I just felt better mentally, which I appreciate that. And another thing that I appreciate is, like I said earlier, this was very short, very quick. I could have read it all in one day, and I basically did, except for the first chapter. Overall, do I feel like this could have been better at times? Yes. Am I mad at that? No. I really feel like this book met the expectations that I set for it going in, and I feel like it's just a really likable story. It made my day better, and I was just smiling so much by the end of it, and also just while reading it too. And I ended up giving Fake Dates and Mooncakes by Sher Lee 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, so that is all that I have for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer a question that'll be around here if you want to do that. And hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye.